Hi there, I'm Gitte Madelaire, and I am the expert and author of Energetic Leadership, and also the founder of Energetic Leadership, Bronte APS. I work with brave business leaders who are ready to lead differently, leading with energy, leading with purpose, and leading with their whole selves. So, on this channel, I will go beyond the buzzwords. On every episode, we will explore what it takes to lead from your highest self, whether it's within your organization, within your team, or within yourself. So, if this makes you curious, you are at the right place. Let's go. Have you ever had a feeling that something in your leadership, in your organization, was off? This is exactly what we're going to talk about when it comes to energetic leadership. But in this episode, we will start with three things first. And the three things are: who am I? What is energetic leadership? And how is energetic leadership important for you and your organization? So who am I? I am Gitte. I am Danish. I'm born Danish. I speak in English, yes. I am living here in Denmark. I have also lived in London. I have lived in Sydney, and I have lived in Kuala Lumpur, which is in Malaysia, in my adult life. In my teen years, because my parents were divorced, I visited my dad in Africa. He lived in Algeria and in Togo and in Cameroon. So I have been, traveling a bit around the world and seeing different cultures. One of the things that is important with my parents getting divorced was that I was a bit sad about them not being together. So when I grew up myself, I thought it is important that you in some way know that you have found the right guy that you want to marry, that this thing about following your heart is really, really important. So that was what I uh, went with when I was younger. And I fell in love with Renee, and we are still married. So that was important for me, following my heart. We have three sons, and they are grown up now, and they are living their lives with their girlfriends and wives, and also one of them have a little son. So that is really nice. So my private life, my personal life means a lot to me, and being there for them and following my heart in whatever I can do when it comes to them. But I have also been ambitious in the sense that I wanted to work in corporate life, and I wanted to also try and make a difference there. I have been working in starting in 10 years in retail, where I was doing purchasing, marketing, and selling. I was purchasing for a whole big chain in Denmark, music from record companies, and making sure that it was sold, that it was also marketed, and that it was purchased at a right price. But I do have had some bummers where I remember once I bought too many Tracy Chapman. So we had to sell it at a lower price. Then I moved into another industry, and that was the insurance industry, which is quite a different kind of product because it is intangible. But the things I did there was really, really interesting. I worked for a company called Codan in Denmark and also had subsidiaries in Stockholm, Trygg-Hansa, and we were owned by an English company called Royal Sun Alliance. They were very visionary in what we could call customer management, strategic customer management. So there I started working with marketing and then into what we named as customer management, very much into customer journeys, customer deliveries, value proposition. How are we defining all the steps? How are we analyzing it? How are we making sure that the whole organization knows what to do and how to go to market? That was really, really exciting years, and I learned a lot. Then I moved on to the automobile industry. And I worked for Volvo Trucks, which is sort of heavy trucks, and that was in operations and also supply chain. So all kinds of jobs relating to how do we get these cars or trucks ordered correctly so they don't turn up in pink or whatever the color should not have been. But also making sure that we get our trucks through whatever kind of service at the time where it is suitable for the customers. So in all these years, my big passion has been to be sort of customer centric, customer focused. How can we improve customers' experience? How can we make sure that what we do today, we can do better tomorrow? And when it comes to that, it has also been a lot about being a leader of these teams in these different industries. So moving from one industry where you had sort of more or less no kind of education and training, or it was all more down to whatever you could do through your daily life with your employees, until you moved into different industries, and also it was becoming more relevant for organizations that you invested in what your employees or your leaders should do and how they did it. But very often the focus was on more on technical training, IT training, slowly moving into also other kinds of training to do with your attitude, your behavior, and so forth. But still, I found that around 2010-ish, after the financial crisis, it was like something changed. I got more frustrated about difficulties in getting organizations to sort of pull in the same direction when you wanted to deliver this customer delivery. So that is another touch point in my sort of development into what energetic leadership is and became for me. So in 2022, I thought, okay, now I will do something different. I will try and inspire people and organizations to better consciousness and better balance in a different way than I could do from being employed in an organization. So I started my own company, and I also wrote the book energetic leadership. And it has a subtitle which is When Modern Life Design Collides with All Leadership Habits, it is time to tap into intuition and unleash your energetic sense of the future. So, this is a little bit about what the book is about, but I will tell you about what my vision is for energetic leadership. My vision for energetic leadership is that we evoke people and organization by combining the business and commercial sense with the human and the energetic sense. So it's that combination. And in order to do that, you need brave leaders. You need brave and curious leaders and people. Because energetic leadership is not soft in any way. It is really hard business. When it comes down to what it really is, then it is tough business, because it will be about how we change business models, not so that we are not going to have a black bottom line. We are still organizations are still, have to be profitable and everything, but we have to do it in a different way, in a more energetic way. You could say a more sustainable way. So energetic leadership is what I have defined in my concept and in my model. It is 3 things. It is about foresight, being able to predict the future from your abilities, and of course also from your insight you gather from different ways, in different ways. So it is foresight, you could say strategic foresight. The other thing is that it is about energy awareness, which is part of our personal development. So what is energy? How are you aware of it? And how do you use it? And the third thing is business transformation. So how do we actually do something about it? How do we transform our businesses, our organizations, and even our societies? So these 3 things will be that we are much more curious about looking out. I call it look out the window. Raise your head from your mobile phone or your computer. But how do we get more curious about what is actually happening out the window, in the horizon, in the future, and also right now, because the future is right outside on our doorstep. So it's looking out, and personal development is looking in. So how do we get to know ourselves again? By being much more aware of energy. So it's energy consciousness. And the third thing is to put these things together. All the insight we have from looking out, and all the insight we have from looking in, and how do we apply that into our businesses, our organization, our societies. So coming back to the subtitle of the book, which said something about tapping into intuition. What we have been doing for many, many, many years, not decades, not hundreds of years, but for too long, we must say, is that we have not really been able to pull from both the sources that we have. We have some rational sources, rational energy, and we also have some intuitive energy. And the intuitive part of both being a human, but also being an organization and a country, we have sort of put a lid on that. We need to open up for the pressure cooker. Well, it's already happening. You can see that around the world. So, but we have to pull and use our rational knowledge with our intuitive wisdom and add it together. As a human, we have both, and we are born with both. But for a lot of reasons, we've forgotten about it when we grew up, when we became adults. So, why is energetic leadership important? It is important because we see a lot of signs in our societies that people are not thriving. People in organizations are not happy in their jobs. We see that because engagement is falling. We see it because people are getting more and more sick. Not in the old sense of sickness where we had lots of diseases that we didn't have any antibiotics for, or something like that in the old days. But now we are seeing also a different kind of diseases where we also clueless about. But our diseases are both physically, but they are also mentally. And you could say they are also spiritually. So we have people both not being engaged enough at work, with work, being sick for a lot of reasons. And we are also seeing in our outside world that our societies are shifting. It is not just you can say an adjustment, a slight adjustment. We are seeing some really heavy changes, radical changes in societies around the world and in the whole way that we collaborate. We're also seeing technology rising exponentially, which means that we have to live in a world where we have a lot of technology, which is good. We sit here, I can record, and that's nice. But we also have to make sure that we as a human are able to sort of maintain ourselves in this kind of development of both technology and artificial intelligence and whatnot. So there's a lot of reasons or a lot of signs for that we need to do something differently. I very often call it that until now, we have only walked on one leg, to sort of get a metaphor for what we're doing as humans here on Earth. And we need to be able to walk on two legs. So the one leg is our rational knowledge, and the other leg is our intuitive wisdom. That is why we need energetic leadership. We need to find out how we lead ourselves again with the understanding of what energy is and why it is important for us to be able to master our energetic leadership as a human, as a leader, as an organization, as a country. Energetic leadership is not new in any way. We have until now led an energetic world in a degenerative way. We have used both humans and other resources wrongly. Now we have to learn to be regenerative. We need to do that with ourselves first, because humans are the ones who sort of live on planet Earth and run lives and businesses on planet Earth. If we're not here, planet Earth will continue. If we want to be here, we need to know how to combine our rational knowledge and our intuitive wisdom. We have to learn how to weave these competencies, these skills. We knew them when we were born. And for a lot of reasons, we were taught to do something differently. We had cultures that were like that. We had structures that were like that. We had organizations, we had societies. We thought we had made a lot of progress. And we did make a lot of progress. We have made a lot of progress, which is really, really good. So we are just in a point of time where we need to add new skills and new competencies in order to thrive as humans, as businesses, and societies. And we shall do that by being able to look out the window and understand what's happening. Know the horizon. We should know that from looking inside and knowing, how am I doing? How is my energy doing? How can I actually be a reed who does not fall in for the rupture? And how do we combine both of it to a way that we also are able to transform our businesses and our societies so that they are built for humans? So this was a little bit about me, what energetic leadership is, and why it is important. If this episode made you think, or even made you feel, that is exactly the point. Energy moves when you pay attention to it. So, subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And if it resonated, do let other people you know, maybe your leader, hear about it if they need to. You can find my book and resources and ways to work with me on energeticleadership.eu. Until then, lead with energy.